Hello, welcome to this very special reaction episode of Generation BTS, the podcast, where we review BTS albums. But today, we're not reviewing a BTS album, we are reviewing a J-Hope solo album.
Whoop,
whoop, whoop. That's just out. We've had it for about 10 days now. So yeah, thought we'd come together to record a sort of first thoughts on Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a standard lyrics review or anything that we sort of normally put out, just our very initial thoughts, and then we'll add it to our schedule to do a full deep dive in due course.
So yeah, we've not read the lyrics.
Read the lyrics.
No,
it's going to be a much more surface episode than...
We've watched a lot of the content.
We have, yeah,
We've
exactly. We've watched all the content, I think, that J-Hope's put out, and there has been a lot. Before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves, shall we? So I'm Christine. I'm recently 29.
Whoop, whoop. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And yeah, I've been Army for a year or so. Yeah, about a year. And with me, I've got...
Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm 33 and I've been Army for about 7 months.
Yeah, and on the phone, all the way from Poland, we have...
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm 19 and I've been Army for about 6 years.
Perfect. Just to let you know, we are not experts on music, K-pop, or BTS.
We're just fans sharing our opinions on BTS.
Please also be aware we do swear.
All right. So we can go quickly over what we're going to cover. So like I said, we're going to start with what's been released in the lead up and what's been released since. And then we're going to cover a couple of questions just to sort of go over our initial thoughts. Another little update thing that we should just mention at the top is that we have decided to move our album reviews to a monthly schedule rather than a bi-weekly schedule, just because we want to have time to do some reaction content. Isn't that right?
We enjoyed the proof reaction.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't enjoy the proof reaction. The proof reaction was tough, but also after the festive dinner, we were seeking out a lot of reaction content, right? And it was similar with Jack in the Box, right? Like with it being out, it's like, oh, have you listened to that?
Also, we had more listeners to the proof reactions, so I think that's a way to grow as well, which sounds good. And it also, just with the Festa dinner, obviously they said that they're all going to put out solo albums, so there's going to be quite a lot of releases in the next few months. And we thought it'd be a good thing to be able to have some time in the schedule to put out that reaction content. And yeah, just as a little sort of peek behind the curtain, the album reviews, they take up a lot of time. Like we normally record for like a lot of hours and then cut it down to something under 2 hours. But then the researching it, editing, everything like that, it does take a long time. So in order to have time to put out reaction episodes and do the album reviews justice, yeah, and like put in the amount of time that they deserve without it taking over our entire lives.
Yeah, we're still waiting for someone to pay us to do it full time.
Yeah.
And we will happily quit our jobs.
Yes.
But at current, we do have to maintain jobs and
Exactly.
friends and relationships. Lots of really annoying stuff that just gets in the way of BTS time.
Yeah, if I could quit my job and be Army full time, 100%, I would have done it already. Yeah. Yeah, so any podcast studios that are listening, feel free to, contact us on our socials.
Our Instagram is at generationbts_, and our Gmail is generationbts, all the albums at gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to pay us to review BTS albums, send us your best offer. And also anyone who has any thoughts on the podcast in general, or if you're really annoyed at the change in schedule or whatever, feedback is welcome. So please send it our way. So yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Natasha, during your solo travels.
Yeah, Natasha's on a Euro trip and she's taken some time out to talk about J-Hope. So I hope he and we appreciate that.
I hope he appreciates that. Yeah. Army of the Year award coming to you, Natasha.
So yeah, do you want to tell us quickly how your travels are going?
It's good, but I've got windows open and someone's just stood and watching me.
Oh
no! Weird and creepy.
Yeah.
You went to a K-pop star in Berlin and to a K-pop night.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was very random. We were just walking along and we just I heard the song and I was like, oh my God, it's Mamamoo. And then Steve was like, oh my God, look at that sign. And it was just like, K-pop night. And we did his restless thing and we were like, oh, I hope we can find it. Got in and I thought it was going to be dead, but it was. packed. It was great.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you've been able to live your best K-pop life. Leanne and I had a BTS party last night.
We did.
We had... for my aforementioned birthday.
And we had Army Weekend last weekend, where we met some other armies who Christine's friends with, and they came down and we sang lots of BTS in the garden. We played BTS Uno. We ate an amazing Korean barbecue.
Yeah, one of our army friends, shout out to our friend Azelle. Azelle and I have the same birthday, so we had last weekend to sort of celebrate our birthdays with our army friends, and then this weekend we celebrated just with
non-army friends.
Non-army friends. We still had a BTS party, but we called it Barbecue Tiara Sparkles themed. And honestly, I thought everyone would be like, that's a secret BTS party, we know Christine like. But no.
Lots of people turned up with tiaras and glitter.
Yeah.
We plastered
stuff to barbecue.
And stuff to barbecue. We plastered the boys' faces everywhere.
Yeah, we had BTS balloons, BTS
cake,
banner, happy birthday banner, BTS cake. Yeah.
I got everyone to pick their bias.
Yeah. Everyone picked the engine. Visuals for the win.
And you got an amazing gift.
I did, yeah. I got the best gift ever from Leanne. I got the artist made collection necklace that Yoongi did, and I've been wearing it ever since, and it's my favorite thing.
She loves it.
Yeah, I love it a lot. So yeah, it's been a good birthday.
Yeah, it's been a good birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, and we saw Taylor Swift.
We did. Yeah, I'm not sure anybody who listens to the BTS podcast care about that, but like maybe they do. Maybe they're also Taylor
maybe
Swift
you were Swift
fans.
days before you became Army.
Like we were. We went to see Haim, and they brought out an extra special guest, and we were like, no, it's not. We know they're friends with her, but we were like, no, it's not. But then it was, and yeah, it was the best day ever.
I actually said to Christine when we were crying and screaming and shaking at 30 seconds of Taylor, like, I don't know how we get through a BTS concert. I am so overwhelmed with emotion.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that's going to be like for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And there's 7.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I can just look at one Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't know how you coped. I don't know how any armies cope, to be honest.
Yeah. How'd you cope, Natasha?
I don't know, just vibe.
Just vibe. Nice. Okay, solid advice. Thank you. We'll keep that in mind.
I don't have a single vibe in me. I will be crying.
Yeah. At least we won't have to go and be quiet like those poor K armies. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
the K army.
Yeah, sad times for them. Yeah, we were worried about all the K armies going to a K jail for screaming at the concert. But yeah, I don't know that anyone did end up in K jail. So yeah, well done, guys. Right, should we talk about J-Hope?
Sorry, I'm laughing about that tweet that I sent you about the girl that was like, just got out of prison because I went up to request a BTS song from the DJ and she started bad-mouthing them, so I ended up getting in a scuffle with her, had to do like a month inside. Worst thing was I missed so much content updates.
Like, that would be hard. Catching up would take ages.
Stay out of jail, kids. Stay out of jail.
Yeah. So yeah, J-Hope. Should we talk for J-Hope? J-Hope. Yeah, Jack in the Box. So do we want to talk a little bit about first thoughts?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. See, I'm on a real Hobi wrecker journey at the minute.
Yeah.
Where I had the realization that I think that Hobi is the MVP of BTS because he can do it all really well. He's a brilliant rapper, he's a brilliant dancer, he's a brilliant singer, he's a brilliant lyricist, he's a producer. Like, he can...
Yeah.
And I would say that he's probably not as good a rapper as RM and Sugar or at that same level. But obviously then if you put that against his vocals and his dancing, overall, he is better. He's like a complete all-rounder. Yeah, and it's just brought, like, it became so clear when he did his V Live that I was like, obviously Hobi was going to go first. Like, he's just ready. He doesn't have to learn anything. Yeah, he can just do his own because he's got all of these skills and talents.
Like Sugar was saying about all his courses that he's taking now because he doesn't want to have a 2-hour solo tour where he just raps the entire time. So he's taking dancing lessons, singing lessons, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, Hobi's already there with all of that stuff.
Just got it.
And I think I was going to say this later on, but in terms of the sort of what he's put out, I think it's a very sort of thought through concept from all of the stuff that the content's been produced around it, the cover art, everything. Like, you can see he's had a hand in literally all of the parts, and I think that's completely as I expected from him. Like, 100%. Like, he's such a perfectionist. Like, I wouldn't ever have thought that he wouldn't do everything himself. And then, that obviously reflects on what you said about him sort of having that ability to do everything. So yeah.
It's just mental.
Yeah.
Mental. He's so talented.
Yeah.
Like, there's no decision that he hasn't been involved in, and it would be so easy to outsource the album art or outsource
he did
the MV concept.
Cause,
no, but like you could just
discussed it with them.
And it was his idea, right?
Yeah, it was
his idea. We could have just said to a normal,
come up with something. Yeah, and like show me
present me 4 options and I'll pick one. But no, he was like, this is what I want. I want to work with this designer. We've worked on these concepts. The same with the MVs. Like, he didn't have to get as involved in the clothing and the production and the setup.
Yeah, he had a very strong idea for the MVs. We'll talk about the MVs more. But yeah, when you see the like behind the scenes for the MVs, like how much she's like, oh, I have this idea. Obviously, they've got a director, and he said about like getting a storyboard. So someone came to him and said, right, this is what we're thinking for the MV. But when he's on the set, you can see him doing like, well, I think actually I shouldn't sing the lyrics in this scene, and like I think this and this and this. So yeah, he clearly has a hand in everything, and he said that in this interview that we watched today as well, didn't he? That he felt like it was important for him to be very involved and make a lot of the decisions himself because it's his first solo album. Obviously, we already have Hope World, but yeah.
Natasha,
do you like it?
I like the concept behind it of the album.
Nice. And the songs?
Yeah.
Some of them?
Yeah, I can't give away too much, can I?
No. We'll get to which ones are. Which one's your favorite, at least? We'll get to that.
You better have a favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of suspected it might not be your ideal style based on what we've done so far and sort of what you've said about rap line solos. And
yeah, but it's so much more than a rap line solo.
Yeah.
It's not just a rap. I
think there's a lot of breadth on the album, probably more than I was expecting, because obviously he went in on this like, I'm going to show this like darker side of myself, and then we got more, which is like
grunge.
Yeah, very. Rock. So I was expecting that throughout, and then I listened to the album and I was like, okay, actually, there's quite a lot of different stuff on here. I was expecting the whole thing to be more, basically. Yeah.
And actually with Asin as well, right? So they sounded very similar in style, but actually then the album's full of all of these gems. And we'll talk about that if the lead tracks are meant to be the right lead tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, should we jump in?
Yes.
Nice. So, the first thing content-wise that I've put in that was released was a Weverse magazine interview that was from the 13th of June. So they all did just between Proof and Festa, they all did interviews with Weverse magazine. I've not read all of them yet, but I have read Hobi's.
Okay.
And he basically just said, oh, well, in the future I want to put something out that's going to show a different side of me, a different, darker side. And he sort of talked a little bit about why he thought that was necessary. He talked about his role within BTS, what he'd contributed to Proof and sort of to their previous work in terms of like writing and producing, but also in terms of being like the dance leader and everything. So he talked about like what he's put out through those like BTS stuff and his aesthetic on Instagram. And he talked about up till now, he'd been quite limited in what he'd been able to show to the fans. Yeah, the stories that he'd told had been sort of limited to that one side of him, and then he needed a darker style of music to say that what he now wanted to say, basically. So he wanted to show his real self and the emotional shadow that his hidden side casts, which I think like
amazing
links to the Persona album.
It does, you know. And the Love Yourself Her review, when I said I wanted Hobi to live in a world where he could be sad and let us love him. Yeah, and he has. I'm sure he listened.
He must have done. Yeah,
must have listened and been like, that one army out there, she wants to see more sides of me.
Yeah,
she doesn't want me to always be happy and bubbly. Sunshine, if I'm not, I'm gonna give her something angry.
Yeah,
I liked it
for sure. Yeah.
Was that around the time that because it was before the Festa dinner that we knew about Lola. I don't know if it was in that interview, but it
wasn't. It was
earlier than that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we knew about Lollapalooza already.
And Hobi doing his own.
And Hobi doing that on his own, and he sort of put out that I think it was on Instagram. He was like, "Oh, I'm so excited," and because Lollapalooza, I think, communicated it on their socials, didn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, next thing we have is obviously the fest dinner, which I don't really want to talk about in huge detail, but
thank you.
But they did obviously in that dinner talk about, right, we're gonna all release albums, and Hobi's gonna have the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got out of that in terms of Hobi content.
We did, and and we could see that Hobi was one of the first to cry.
Oh,
but had given lots of assurance that he was still gonna be producing content, and he backed them taking some time and taking a bit of a break.
For sure. I think this actually is the first time we've addressed the Festa dinner on the podcast, because you also won't have heard our episode that we recorded after the Festa dinner. So there will be a our thoughts on the Festa dinner as a part of housekeeping at some point, but right now we just don't want to get into it.
We're over it.
Yeah, we're over obviously it was sad and confusing time at first, but then now we've just been bombarded with content all now.
Yeah, I keep seeing the meme of JK, doing the wink, the last music show where they did Yet to Come, and it says we're on a break, and he's doing that really exaggerated wink. Yeah, and I keep seeing that and being like, yes, I'm aware. Yeah, you're not on break. Yeah, you're taking up all of my time in life. It's still great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So then we get on the 25th of June, so about 11 days after Festa dinner, we get the album announcement. They put out a little sort of graphics video with the sort of checkerboard.
The black and white.
Jack in the Box. Well, actually, it was like turquoise and pink, and then it moved to black and white. So yeah, we heard then Jack in the Box is coming.
First look at the concept though, we were a bit like, oh, interesting. It's all a bit black and white and not as colourful as
it wasn't the Hope World rainbow flower sunshine
joy
graphics, or even the chicken noodle soup with the like noodle neon that was everywhere. It was a little bit different, but we knew Jack in the Box was black white plus the turquoise pink, and that's what we knew. So then we get concept photos. 28th of June, 3 days later. There's that one of him there's like a shadow, and he's in a hallway.
He's got his amazing hat on, the one that he talks about the whole time. Like every time anyone asks about the album, he's like, I've got this hat. It's a really cool hat.
And then there were some other concept photos of him just from the more music video. He was in the
jumpsuit.
In the jumpsuit, that's what it's called. And just looking angry.
Looking angry. Looking angry.
Great but angry. I really like that he's wearing the nail polish. I think that really goes. That's in the side, but I really love the nail polish. Like, it's fun. So then we see the Jack in the Box hat for the first time, the knitted one, not the mechanical one.
Yeah, the knitted one.
Yeah. On the 28th of June, we also get the More teaser. So that's the same day as the concept photos. It just has the little like beats from More, doesn't it? And then there's the image of the key.
You get the back of that vocal, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, that's not very happy.
No. So now we know it's darker. It's black and white kind of. And it's like angry. Yeah. And then 1st of July, the More MV drops, and More is available on Spotify.
And we're dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah. So what did we do first, guys? Did we listen to the song or watch the MV?
We watched the MV.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
I did. Yeah. I watched it at like 7 a.m.
As soon as I woke up.
Yeah. Getting ready for work. I remember having that on while I was curling my hair. So,
what did you do? Did you watch the MV? Did you listen to the song?
I watched the MV.
Nice.
The video were different. The song wasn't me, but I feel like there's a lot of BTS songs that are now my personal favourite that first listen I was like, this is rubbish. And then I listened to it again and I'm like, oh my God, I love it.
That's how you're going to feel about More, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I liked it, and think a lot of people have said that it's like a Fight Club concept. Yeah. I've not seen Fight Club, have you?
Yes. Yeah. I have. The scenes are the same, like when he's walking down the hall and when he's fighting with himself. It's good. It's a good concept.
Yeah.
And then there's all the different rooms, and then at the end, they're all in the box.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant.
And he just looks so swaggy.
He does.
Like, he's just so comfortable on his own.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, rock vibe, and then...
when he's with the band.
When he breaks out with the band, and they're just, like, jamming out. He could front a band. He could front that band all day, every day. Yeah. Like, he is lost.
Yeah.
He looks just incredible.
Yeah, he does. He was in the, like, jumpsuits still that we saw in the images, and he's got this, like, dark makeup on. Oh, and he's got that piercing thing.
Oh, yeah, on the top of his nose.
Yeah, on top. I think it has a name, but I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, I thought that was a bit scary. I'm not gonna lie.
The whole thing was quite scary.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, he looks so hot with the piercing." I was like, "No, I don't need the piercing." But
it's too far.
Yeah, but yeah, if he wants to have the piercing, then obviously he can.
And well, it's obviously rappy.
Yeah,
but you have the chorus vocal, right? I want more, which is also really great, but not like a full vocal. It's like a distorted.
Yeah, it's kind of like faded. Yeah. I wasn't like Natasha when I first heard the song. I was a bit like, I'm not sure. But like, I think by the third, fourth play, like that day, I was like, oh no, actually, I do like it. It's quite cool. And the way that he says like Thursday.
Thursday. I saw a smash cut today of the I'm Thirsty from the music video, him in the live where he's like, "You're thirsty, do you want some iced coffee?" And then he puts like the coffee to the camera of the V live. Oh, he's just so cute.
Yeah, he's very sweet.
It was complete Hobi duality. It was really great.
Yeah. We also had the
secret V.
Yeah,
and the MV.
V's in it. Yeah, I saw that. There were a lot of obviously armies online. I don't think I've caught it the first time I watched the MV. But when people started sharing the still and was like, "Is this Tay?" I was like, "Yeah, that's Tay, 100%." Yeah, you can see it from the way he stands and what he wears and everything. And obviously, we got the behind the scenes, the shooting sketch on the 6th of July. So,
and that's when we know that it was
we saw him visit on the set, which is very cute. He was so happy.
He was so happy. Hobi was so happy to see him. V was so happy to be there.
Yeah.
And like the absolute angel highlight was when he introduced V to the band.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is my bandmate, V." And I was like, they obviously know who he is.
Yeah.
He's like one of the most famous men in the world after you, and they know you.
Yeah.
So they know that you know him.
Yeah.
V did the like hello bow, like hi, I'm V, and I'm like, they obviously know who you are. This is just adorable.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah. And he brought him the cookies. The waffles.
Waffles, these cookies and cream waffles. And then Hobi kept being like, "Oh, Terry, you're the best. I love you so much, Terry." And then when he held his hand, when he first comes in, he's like, "Oh, how did you get here?" And like gives him a hug. And then when they sort of separate after the hug, he's still holding Tay's hand. So cute. The sweetest thing in the whole world. I said to Leanne already off mic, but it was nice to see, obviously I think he's all about the darker side for this album, but in the behind the scenes sketch, he's still very much happy bubbly Hobi.
Yeah, he's still Hobi. He's not, yeah. Even though he's showing that.
He's showing a different side through his art, but he's not like.
But he's not tortured.
Angry
he's not angry. No. But he was definitely in the MV. He was definitely in. They've got Hobi teacher mode when like he reviews the choreo.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Oh shit!" Like Hobi's watching now, so we need to make sure it's all great. But you saw him in the behind the scenes of the sketch, like coming back and reviewing every clip and changing his body movements and putting different ideas forward and being like, "Oh, this looks cool. Oh, that doesn't look cool. Oh, can we do?" And he always does the thing that he does with the choreo, right? Which is like, "Oh, just one more time. Just one more time.
Just one more time. Yeah, let's do another take."
So he must have been there for hours, days.
I think he took 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
It was great. I really liked it.
I liked both the MV and the song. Good job, Hobi.
Great job.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about more?
I like the colour palette of the music video.
Yeah.
Dark vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, me too. The color palette was good. Very dark. He talked about like having fun with this in the behind the scenes as well, but when he does the like skull thing and they put all those little dots on his face and he was so excited about that.
It came out really cool.
Really cool, isn't it? Yeah.
And then the X-ray shots are just so like shocking.
Yeah.
He's in the same nurse's office with a bed and a screen in both outro, Ego music video and more.
Oh,
really?
wow. Look at you dropping the facts.
And as well, there's loads and loads of like just the lights that they use. It's all the BTS logo.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah,
that
you've
online.
seen that,
Yeah. I actually haven't seen the Outro Ego music video.
No, me either.
No, I haven't watched any of those. I'm like trying to keep
some stuff back.
Back, and also, come to it when we do it.
Need to pace now.
Exactly.
They're on break.
They're on
Wink.
break. Wink. It's actually been so busy that I only just found time today to watch the Grammy behind the scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was raging when I missed RM go live because of the new Weverse update. Yeah. So they're not on VLive anymore. They moved to Weverse and I'd not set up the notification. And then you were like, RM's live. And I was like, what, when? Like 20 minutes ago, I'm like, I wasn't even doing anything.
I texted straight away.
I sent an email.
I texted straight away.
I could have been there. We were hanging out with RM live.
Yeah. The thing that I did want to say about more actually was when he kept doing the mannequin challenge. That was also cute.
And I don't think it came across like the mannequin challenge. I didn't get in the MV, but I did get it in the making of. Yeah. Because I think the stitching of it in the MV was probably a bit too quick. Yeah. There wasn't enough shots of him posed as but he kept doing it and he kept trying. It was really sweet,
and every time they did it they were like, mannequin challenge.
He didn't really know what to do.
And then when B was like deciding that he wanted to be in the video, he was like, should I also be a mannequin?
I really like that B was like, do you want me to be in it? And Hobi was like, what? Yeah. And he was like, great. After takes his coat off and then just like rushes straight up, where you want me to stand? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I've already had hair and makeup done.
Yeah. And Hobi did say like, I think Army's going to catch on straight away. Yeah. And yeah, he was right. Yeah. So
after more,
so we get a visual teaser on the 5th of July. There was a visual teaser that they put out, which is mainly kind of it's that bit of merch that he talked about in the V Live.
That scared him.
Yeah. The music box. So I don't know this actually. Is a Jack in the Box a music box? Or are they like two different things that he sort of put together?
A Jack in the Box will have a do. Okay. It does have a noise, a sound that goes with it when you're cranking the handle. Okay. But I don't know if they're then different music boxes in different Jack in the Boxes. Okay,
but Jack in the Box has music.
Yes.
Yeah, because I kind of thought a music box and Jack in the Box is two separate things, but they're not.
No. It'd have a tune.
Right, okay. Well, that's helpful. Yeah, so it's a Jack in the Box, essentially.
Playing.
You can buy it on Weverse. I thought it was actually kind of cheap.
Yeah, it was like 50.
Yeah.
It was sold out,
though, yeah. So that's the visual teaser. I guess it kind of led us into the concept of Jack in the Box and the music box and all that sort of stuff. We've not heard of Pandora's box yet. That comes in later. But yeah, it sort of links to the title, which we already have. And then we get the track list. Mm-hmm. Track list was the 7th of July, so that's when obviously we get the titles of all the songs. There was a little YouTube clip of it, and then it had the same sort of black, white, turquoise, pink colors. We get all the song titles and which order they're going to come in, so we know that More is song 3. And then I think actually the music that plays in the background is the beat from Arson.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Obviously, we didn't know about Arson at the time, but that was a clever little Easter egg. Yeah, wow. See what you did there, Hobi. Another example of him being just the most complete and thought-through person in the whole world. Next bit of content that we get after the track list is the Arson concert photos. Which were great.
They were a good day.
They were so good. Yeah, wow, I was really impressed.
I don't like...
That look with the red eyeshadow. I think the red eyeshadow just makes it. Honestly,
but it's because he's got the blue lenses as well.
Yeah.
So they're like their eyes pop in. Then you got the red eyeshadow. Then you've got the nail varnish.
The nail polish.
Yeah, and then you got this little dinkly bracelet and necklace that's made of beads. Yeah. Plus, then he's in all white. Yeah. And then the car's on fire.
Car's on fire behind him.
He looks like an absolute angel. Yeah. Yeah, in like a dystopian world, he's just the angel that's been sent here to save us from the world being on fire.
Yeah. And I think there's some in his normal white jumpsuit, and then there's some in the burnt one.
Well, we'll get on to how how easy the burnt one was to get.
Yeah.
His love for the burnt one.
Yeah, the burnt one was his pride and joy.
Yeah, the arson concept photos are just...
They're a good day.
They flawed us.
And I think that they did his hair really well in that video as well. Like the push back with the sweeping down at the front. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
his hair looks a little bit like JK's in the Best of Me era. Throwing it out there for you.
Yeah.
No.
No. No, it doesn't. Fine. It looks a bit like how he had his hair at the Grammys as well. So JK.
Yeah. It does. It looks very much like JK.
Yeah. Let's move on. The Arson teaser, not teacher, came out on the 13th of July. Mm-hmm. So 2 days before the actual album.
It's just a car exploding.
It's a car on fire, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. He's not in it.
He's not in it, but
you get a clip of Arson and there's an explosion.
It had the burnt car, which obviously tells us what the title's about, you know. It's about arson. Nice. And then the full album and the music video for Arson come out on the 15th of July.
And that was we got the V-Live explainer that day as well, right?
Yeah, we got the album. We had the album in the morning.
Yeah, we listened to the album in the morning, didn't we? We watched the MV.
Yeah.
Then we had the explainer.
Yeah. Yeah, so album and MV, big day, plus V-Live. Should we talk a little bit about, do we listen to the album in full? Did we watch Arson first? I think we listened to the album.
We listened to the album in full.
Yeah.
We talked about the fact that the album was 21 minutes long. Yeah. And how is this an album and not a mixtape?
I think it's
why are all the tracks only 2 minutes long?
The tracks are, I think More is the longest track, and it's about 2.5 minutes. That was one of my first reactions to the album itself. Was I think even before I listened to it, I sort of scroll down on Spotify when it tells you the time, and I was like, 21 minutes. That's a lot of songs for 21 minutes. The album versus mixtape thing, I don't think that it's necessarily like an amount of songs that you need to call it an album. Although it does have more songs than Hope World, but it's about the same length. It's about like how you promote it and how you release it, right? But they're not even doing a physical. It's not a physical CD.
No, it's digital.
Like a QR code that you can buy on Weverse.
And you get a photo card.
You do get photo cards, which is exciting. But yeah, it's not like an album that I can put on my shelf, and I'd really like to be able to put it on my shelf. I can't put that little sticky note thing on my shelf on the shrine. It just won't stand out. Yeah. No. Whereas that like checkerboard design would have really popped, I think, with the cause. And yeah, they could have done.
You could have taken our money.
Hybe, yeah, exactly. Hybe, we will give you our money. So yeah, that was.
We listened the first time through, but we didn't spend a lot of time with it because we were at work, and then we had the V-Live. I think I only listened to it once or twice.
Yeah.
Then we watched the MV.
Yeah.
We were mesmerised.
Yes. What did you think on first reflection?
I was like, when I was listening to it, like I were in an airport, we'd been delayed, maybe listening to second, third time over it. I actually took it in and like, oh yeah, this is bearable.
Tough, yeah, okay. Have you got like to a place now where you appreciate it, or is it like?
I think I probably need to listen to it a lot more. But would I choose to listen to it to then like it more?
The shade,
yeah.
If you'd not been on me for so long, I'd be throwing you off the podcast.
No, I liked it. I think it was good to have a few times to listen to it, but I think that's true of any music, really. There's a few times where I'm like, oh my God, this is the best song ever after the first listen. And yeah, like I said, I was surprised at how many songs were not really like More and Arson.
Yeah, agreed. Because there's so much more range on the album as you listen through.
Yeah.
Like I was really into the More concept, but I'm like like pop punk.
Yeah.
It really, really spoke to me.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have minded like a whole like grungy pop punk album.
No.
But I really liked the variety.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's something for everyone on it. Like if grunge isn't your vibe, you can still enjoy this
There's
album.
some proper pop songs on there.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some songs where he's like angrier, I'd say, as well. Like What If is quite angry.
What If's really angry.
Yeah, Stop is more happy. There's quite a
angry
lot
rap.
of like, I was thinking this when we were listening to it yesterday, like there's a lot of like 90s hip hop influence, I think, but then also grunge is quite 90s. So there's a lot of like, that's just, my very sort of limited music knowledge take. But yeah, that did occur to me. Yeah.
It's got 90s vibes.
And yeah, we liked it.
We did like it.
We did like it, yeah.
When it came out, that's when we considered Lolla again. Christine and I are desperate to go to Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive.
Really, yeah.
But we were like, how many people can we realistically piss off in exchange for more money than we have to go to Chicago?
Yeah, for a 1 hour Hobi concert.
For a 1 hour Hobi concert.
Like, I'd much rather see a full, like, stadium
a Hobi set,
show, like a proper concert. I don't know whether he's not really said whether he's going to tour it at all. They said in the Festa dinner, Yoongi said about him, like, or I think he said that in his Weverse interview as well. He sort of hinted at doing a solo tour. We've not really had those hints from Hobi, but that doesn't mean they're not coming. Obviously, he is doing Lollapalooza.
As soon as we can, we're going to make something work.
Yeah,
and I think we're going to go to Busan. We're going to Busan
in October.
Yeah, we're going.
That's not fair.
You can come.
She's got uni.
Well, we can send you photos. But yeah. Arson.
Music video.
Arson music video. And then since we've also had the shooting sketch, so we can talk about those. Thoughts. I really like it. I think it's really strong on me. I like that they had all the flames.
I think I really like Arson. It's MV. I don't love the song.
I think I prefer the song.
To more. No, I love more. I don't love Arson as much, but obviously with a song called Arson about fire and burning, it lends itself to this big explosion, fiery,
for sure,
concept. But then the two, I prefer the more MV.
Okay, I think I prefer Arson.
No, interesting.
I think
I'd prefer the Arson MV with more. Does that make sense? But it wouldn't work, obviously.
No, it wouldn't.
But I think the Arson MV is a better MV, but more, the song is a better song.
I think Arson, I prefer Arson, the song, because it's got that beat, and I like when he says Arson, and then the beat drops in, and that the Arson MV, I prefer it because the visuals are like a little brighter, and there's the flames, and I think I prefer his look in it as well. But then I think more is a stronger concept for a music video.
Agreed.
Yeah. Whereas Arson is very much just him walking, and there's
fire.
There's fire.
Arson, fire.
Yeah.
The looks in Arson are strong with the white and then the flamed. And then it was quite dangerous as well when we watched the MV sketch. Like, you had to walk with the explosions going off. Lay down with the fire.
Yeah, he was very worried about the car exploding and how it would look, and like how he could stand in front of it and stuff, wasn't he?
He does that zombie walk.
Yeah. And then there's a bit where he's burnt, where he's got all the like patches on his face, and he's in the burnt outfit, which I think also looks good, but it's a bit scary again.
Very scary.
Yeah, I like it more.
And then the heart bit reminds me of Twilight. Like, it goes in and it's like Bella coming back to life. They're all vampires, really.
Yeah, that's we've had a recent recording that we've done where Natasha's talked about BTS's Twilight. That's come up again now, but I know what you mean now. Is when they sort of zoom into his like internal organs, and there is that scene in Twilight where Bella turns into a vampire, and you sort of see how her inner organs change and become like this like solid material, and that's when she becomes like immortal. Yes. So yeah, some strong associations here with Twilight.
What's your favourite MV, More or Arson?
I think I prefer More. The background and stuff is just a bit more appealing to me rather than the Arson bits. It kind of reminds me of Mic Drop.
Yeah. Yeah, it does have a bit of a Mic Drop vibe.
Yeah, because they've got the exploding car and Mic Drop, haven't they?
Yeah, they do.
Well, we're talking about More, not Arson. Yeah, I think I prefer More as well because Hobi's more swaggy and more because of that scene with the band.
The band, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like surfing. You don't get any choreo for Arson.
No. I don't know how much choreo he's going to do at Lollapalooza. Probably
loads.
Yeah, probably loads, yeah. And you saw he put up on Instagram today that he was in the dancing studio, didn't he? So,
yeah. Well, no breaks.
No breaks.
But
But yeah.
like JK, like just keep going, no breaks. I just don't want him to be too tired.
No.
Don't want that.
No,
Don't overdo it, Hobi.
He will, yeah. And then we had the
V-Live explainer.
The V-Live explainer. Oh, it was the cutest, sweetest thing ever. I think you'll find.
It was like 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was long.
We watched it for so long.
It was really like, it was a big production.
It was really well produced. Yeah. Multiple sets, multiple stages, multiple camera angles, live subtitles. Which we were very appreciative of. Yeah,
they were somewhat lacking at times, but they were live, so it was a good job considering the circumstances, I think. But there were times when he talked for like 2 minutes and they did put like, this was great.
This is a hat. Yeah. And he's been talking for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what's Karen?
Yeah.
That's when we really got to see like how into the concept he was. Yeah. The colour schemes and the palettes and the merch and the setup. And
so he started in the box, right?
In the box.
Like in like a little box room. And he had like a little keyboard there. He had all of his clothes,
all of his jumpsuits, that he showed us all.
Very good, like excruciating detail. I mean, like, this is the jumpsuit.
This is the black jumpsuit. It's black. We're like, cool. And then he grabbed the white one and black. This is the white jumpsuit. It's white. We're like, oh, we can see.
Yeah. And then
this is the burnt jumpsuit. It's burnt.
It was smelling as well.
It smelled like salt.
Yeah.
But then
he'd pick up the burnt t-shirt, be like, this is the t-shirt, and it's also burnt.
And then this is the white t-shirt. And we were just like hoping we get it. And he was talking about the designer making the burnt jumpsuit for like 20 minutes.
He was very proud of that burnt jumpsuit.
He was very proud of the design and what had come out of it. Even to the shoes, right?
Yeah.
He talked about the shoes. He talked about the hats.
Checkerboard shoes.
Yeah.
That was part of the concept, he said, because of the like jester with the big shoes. And that's how that
then the woolly hat and then the mechanical hat.
Yeah, both hats.
And then we saw all the merch, which was like the Jack in the Box and the album card. And that really cute crop.
The crop. I wanted the crop so much.
Yeah, it says, I'm not enough.
Yeah,
still not enough. Still not enough.
Yeah,
across the collar. It's such a good.
Yeah, and then it's got like a big logo on the back. Really
so
good.
Nice.
If we had been going to Lola, it sold out.
Oh,
so very reasonable, $39. But with shipping, it would maybe have been a bit hard to justify. And then there's an Arson t-shirt. This guy's little sticker pack. There's a big poster made of fabric.
Oh yeah, the fabric poster.
Yeah, and then there's a candle. He was excited about the candle.
That says arson on it.
It says arson, and it's a candle. Yeah, very clever.
Got it.
And it says burn on the top as well.
Oh, but he said he had a special message inside.
Yeah, so once you're done with the candle, you get to see something on the bottom.
And it smelled. Sure. The smell was like one that he'd found in a hotel room in America. And he was like, I really like this candle, so I brought it to the team, and I was like, this is what I want my candle to smell like.
Yeah. And then there's the matchsticks as well.
Yeah.
The matchsticks, we were quite into the matchsticks, weren't we?
Yeah.
We kind of wanted the matchsticks.
And the little key ring.
Yeah. And there's a scrunchy set as well, which I also would get.
And he did that. He wound the Jack in the Box and went, oh!
Yeah. And he was like, oh, I'm worried I'm going to be scared by this. And then he was.
He was. Then he came out of the box.
The box sort of collapsed outwards.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. And then he had this like couch and this much more open sort of studio. And then he had this big like shipping box thing next to him.
Yeah, this weird box.
Yeah, with all these like random things in. And then he was talking about each song. And then with each song, he kept like pulling stuff out of this big box. And
I was lost.
Some of it made sense, I'd say. I can't really remember exactly what he pulled out. There was a chessboard.
There was a hand, a knight.
Yeah.
Was there a globe?
It might have been a globe. Yeah. Yeah, he had loads of crap in the box, basically.
Literally just random junk.
Yeah. So he was like, well, for this song, I really wanted to show you this. And we're like, maybe once we do the lyric review, it makes sense. We'll be like, oh my God.
Oh, it's the
brilliance of the box with this crap in.
Yeah, but he didn't really talk about the songs.
No.
And we were obviously there, like, wanting to know, like, the inspiration behind it, and what it meant, and this song's about this, and I wrote this song at this time, these are the things that I was thinking, and he was just like, here's a chessboard.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what are you doing? I don't want to see more things.
Yeah.
I want to know what you were thinking and feeling, Hobi.
Yeah. He didn't get into that much, but we've had that since. So
we have had that since.
Anything else we want to say about the V-Live?
He did a bit of dancing at the end.
Yeah, he did. It was his first time doing an album review, and he was like, he kept saying like, "Oh, I feel like I'm blabbering," and we're like, "You are a little bit, but it's fine." Yeah, but he was kind of nervous, isn't he?
I think that's why he had all the props, right?
Yeah.
To try and like guide through the agenda.
Have stuff that he could talk around.
Whereas
It's much longer than Arm and Sugar's album reviews that they do. So like Sugar's usually just like half an hour, Arm usually just like an hour.
Sits down and goes like, "This song.
Yeah.
We talked about this. This is how we made it." Yeah. And he didn't really do that actually. He just
he sort of
talked around some of the concepts. And he looked great.
He did look great.
He had the white suit with the sideways checkerboard shirt on.
Yeah.
Which was really nice.
Yeah, the collar of the shirt sort of was like poking through the gap in the suit jacket. There was like end of the collar. So it was sort of off-center collar.
You haven't linked the clips of the release party or the launch party. Let's talk about that.
We should talk about that.
Listening party.
Yeah, he had a listening party.
Did you watch any of the listening party clips?
I've seen maybe a few like little tiny snippets. Loads of different people together and all singing and dancing.
Yeah, he had loads of people from the industry.
Yeah.
A few of their like choreographers and stuff, Bank PD, all the other members except Yoongi because he thought he had COVID.
But he didn't, because the next day he rocked up at a sideshow.
Yeah, he was fine. He didn't have COVID, but he was a conscientious king and didn't show up at the party because he thought he had COVID. Applause to my guy.
And everyone got pictures except Jin, who sat in the corner reading a webtoon.
Yeah.
So then had to post later to say that he was there with his picture.
They had this little like photo box thing that was obviously themed with the checkerboard. And yeah, Jin had photos in there.
He did.
But yeah, and then there's one tiny video of him arriving, but with all the other members, there's loads of videos of them like jamming out, talking to people, like getting drinks, whatever. There's none of those of Jin. None of Jin. Because he was sat in the corner. He was like, "Oh, but the only people I knew were Bank PD and P-Dog and the members." So like I just sat in the corner, which, is on brand for Jin, I think.
Fine.
Yeah.
And there's a really good video of JK doing the Megan Thee Stallion, Free J's choreo to Butter.
Yeah.
JK was in the corner a lot.
He was, he was in the corner. He sort of rolled around on the floor a lot as well. I don't know if he was just drunk or whether he was just, vibing. But Arm and
was great.
Were quite sociable.
Very social, chatting to everyone, having big chats.
Yeah.
Overall, it looked great.
It did look so good. When the pictures were coming out, I was like, this is the most jealous I've ever been. But then obviously I was overtaken the next day by all the people who went to that fucking Psy concert when Yoongi appeared. Those 2 days, most jealous I've ever been.
Yeah, they were a tough 2 days.
Yeah.
But the listening party was very cool. It felt very Hobi, right?
Yeah.
Aram said in his V Live that only Hobi could pull that off because he's so like smooth and social.
He really did look in his element.
He looked
He had this really cool outfit on. He had these like shades on and sticking his tongue out.
Do you know why he looks so comfortable?
Whatever.
Because he's the MVP. He can just do it. It just comes naturally to that boy.
It does, yeah.
He's so talented.
He is very talented. Yeah. I really wanted to move to Seoul that week. I think actually that's when I looked into it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You can't.
I can't now. I'm not a native English speaker. Maybe once I learn Korean, I'll be okay.
Oh, you can marry.
I can marry, yeah. That's fine. That's the plan. That's the plan, actually. Yes. You can marry me.
I wasn't thinking Yoongi. I was thinking, someone you meet in Soho, but yes.
It was just an opportune time to do that joke.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
Yeah. Right. He talked a little bit in the V Live as well. He talked a little bit about his nickname and sort of how that came about. The concept sort of grew out of that nickname sort of having boxed him in a little
hope
bit, maybe.
In the box, yeah.
Yeah. So
the box full of hope.
The nickname sort of has meant that he's only been able to, obviously, like he said in the interview, he's only been able to show us that one side of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And
the BTS side, the J-Hope side, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're my hope, I'm your hope, and he's the happy pill, the sunshine of the group, all that sort of stuff.
But he's got much more range.
Yeah, he does. So he talked a little bit about that. And he knew about the thing about it being, in the opener, there's this voice that talks about Pandora's box, right? That's
the woman's voice.
And they sort of talk about, Pandora opened the box, and then all this miasma of darkness, I think she says, came out. And then the last thing that was left in the box was hope, and sort of hope comes out, and Pandora felt all of her worries melt away. And
that's exactly how I feel about Hobi.
Yeah. So yeah, he talked about how he was like he wanted something with a J and a ho.
J-ho.
J-ho.
No, P, just ho.
J-ho. It reminds me of that like Sugar Babe song. J-ho.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what inspired it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was this box theory.
Yeah. Yeah. So he talked a little bit about his nickname. That was interesting, I thought. And it sort of made the whole Jack in the Box concept make sense.
Yeah.
So I think he did get that out of the Beat Live. He sort of explained how Jack in the Box, Pandora's box, the nickname J-Hope, and sort of he knitted that all together quite well.
Yeah. I'm in the box now. I'm out of the box.
Yeah.
These are my other sides of me.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last bit of content that we've had is the album interview, which we only watched today.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like a half an hour interview where he talked mainly about the same stuff as in Beat Live, but in less detail and sort of more about the music. He did go song by song and say, like, this is what this is about. And then there were some questions around the concept and everything like that, which I felt like we knew all of that stuff already. Yeah, but the song by song review was mainly the interesting part. And then he also did talk a little bit around how involved he was in the details of the production and why he felt like he needed to be so involved. He said about RM saying the title of the song Stop was provocative. But actually the song Stop is, I think it has like a Korean subtitle that's there are no bad people in the world.
Oh,
that's
RM doesn't believe that. He believes there's no good people in the world.
Yeah, he said that in Festa.
Said that in
2021, was it?
2021.
Yeah, 2021 Festa. In the interview, he said that he didn't think that anyone is fully
innately good.
Innately good. That's the word that he used.
Tortured boy.
He is. But yeah, I hope he does think that there are no bad people in the world. So
it's nice.
You don't need to. I mean, there's a difference between being innately good and not being a bad person. But yeah. He has said that he did show RM RM was the first person he showed the album to. I read part of an interview that he did with the Rolling Stone when they were like, what did the other members think? And he was like, well, I always show RM my stuff first, so that's what I did this time as well. And then he was like, I could have shown it to Sugar, but he really likes to respect the process.
Yeah, so he wants to see it when it's finished.
Yeah, he was like, I'll listen to it when it comes out, like everyone else.
And then he showed some other singles. And RM had said that he was just amazed by the concept and the sound of it. He was like, it wasn't what I expected, but then once I'd heard it, I was like, oh, this is exactly right. This fits perfect.
Yeah, it's very you still.
It's very you.
I'd never thought you would make something like this, but it's so you at the same time, which, brilliantly summarized by RM. He talked about his English chorus on Equal Sign, which I hadn't thought about yet, but that chorus is all in English.
Okay.
And he sort of sings it. He said he did it to show off that he could do a chorus in English, even though his English isn't very good. Yeah, so he's like, I just wanted to show everyone that I could do a chorus in English. And his vocal is so nice in that one. He sings really well.
I still can't believe that it's his vocal.
Yeah. And then he talked a little bit about the interlude, the Pandora's Box interlude, and he said like, this marks the step change in the album and that sort of stuff. Which I was like, yeah, it does. The album definitely does change after the interlude, but then at the same time, after the interlude, you have some of the more poppy songs, but before the interlude, you have Equal Sign, and after the interlude, you have What If and Arson. Yeah, so,
I think actually it doesn't. I think Equal Sign belongs after the interlude, and What If and Arson belong before the interlude, or vice versa.
I think having them at the end does make it feel a bit more cohesive though, because I think if you switched Equal Sign with What If, for example, it could feel a little like this is the angry side and then all of a sudden we're in this happy side. But yeah, he talked about how he had moved Arson from one of the opening songs to the end song, and he said, Arson's the title track, but then I thought, what would happen if I put it last? And like that would really throw people off. Like if I had my title track as the last track. So I just was trying to be really original with that one, I think. Yeah. He talks a little bit about the sort of the background for each song. So he said that Safety Zone was about him finding his like safe space, basically. And Future was about the future for J-Hope. But he was trying to, he talked a little bit about how in COVID and previously he'd sort of been telling people to like live in hope and that's what you should do and stuff. And then he was like reflecting on, but I'm not doing that.
Right.
So then
interesting.
He was saying that he had sort of decided that he wanted to live more in the moment and like go with the flow. And he has like these young children sing with him on that song. And he wanted that to symbolize their ability to sort of live in the moment and let their imagination run free. And he was like, yeah, that's what I really want my future to be like. I just want to like go with the flow more and live in the moment. Yeah, it's a really good song. So yeah, and then they asked him to summarize the album in one word, and he said challenge. He was like, I want to challenge myself, but I also want to like challenge the listener to see a different part of me. So yeah.
Very cool.
Good.
It was a nice set.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in his studio, I think. They had the chicken noodle soup poster in the background.
It was in his studio, yeah.
Yeah. All right, should we move on to our question portion?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do we think about the concept? We talked about a little bit about that. Yeah, it's about like just personal thoughts. I like it. I think it's really well thought through. I don't think I was expecting anything else from him. Then something that felt really thought through, like he'd had a hand in everything. It felt really cohesive, really sort of almost like overplanned. I thought it was interesting to think about whether I expect that from the other members or if that's a him thing. I think it might be a him thing. I don't know. We obviously haven't really reviewed any of the solo mixtapes yet on the podcast. It will be interesting to see when we do that, whether theirs also are these cohesive units and whether what they put out from now on is a story in the same way.
Yeah, we had a bit of a chat about this, didn't we? Where I think Hobi's done a really good job of positioning himself and his story within this fairly complicated but cohesive concept. Whereas I think some of the other members will have less pressure or desire to do something as elaborate because it'll be their first flurry into putting something out there. But if it is as thought through and complicated and cohesive, then that's a great day. It's a really great day.
Yeah. It's whether obviously I think seeing an album and doing what we're doing in the podcast where we see an album as a unit, it definitely lends itself to that. But when I listen to music a lot of the time, I'll just put it on shuffle. So it's just whether you necessarily need a big concept like that. But then I know Adele was very like vocal about her new album. She wanted people to listen from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I think RM said that as well, that he always, when an album drops, he always listens from start to finish because he's like, oh, that's the way
that's how the way they're designed. Yeah.
He's big on that in general and about their albums as well. He wants people to like sit down and listen to
and understand how they progress.
Yeah. And we saw Tay in his vlog.
Driving vlog.
Yeah, his driving vlog.
His vlog.
Yeah, he talked a little bit about his solo album. He was like, yeah, no, I feel like the songs are there, but like the flow isn't right. I'm not got the flow right yet. So he's concerned about the sort of order of the songs, at least. If not, I don't know what sort of concept he's going to do.
Yeah, I thought it was good as well. I think the understanding of the history of the name and the hope being in the box and then breaking out of the box.
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense straight away.
It makes sense straight away. It completely fits. I feel like we got even more insight into Hobi's story and background, as well as obviously seeing the vast array of
his talent.
Yeah, that he's
and
got.
Like you kind of got what you asked for in Love
I did. Thank you, my boy.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes,
what a sweet angel, just giving me what I asked for. Yeah. Now, if only RM would give me that ring.
Yeah. We're putting things out there, we're manifesting.
That's 2 marriage proposals that we manifested.
Yeah.
Do you want to manifest yours?
No.
You don't want JK to marry you?
How do you know we're not already married?
I don't. Yeah, maybe that's why I don't need to manifest it.
Very well kept secret.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Not been papped yet, so.
That's a good job. A good job not getting papped with JK.
What do you think of the concept?
I like it. I like the idea of the concept and the meaning and everything like that. For me personally, it's just not. This album wasn't like released and directed at me, but it's still a good album. I did actually look into some lyrics at other songs. There were a good amount of like very important meaning, so bit that I did like about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that, because I have heard a lot of the lyrics for More, and all the words have like double meanings, and it can be about that and can be about this. So we're gonna have a great time doing the Jack in the Box full review session. I think it's gonna be fun, even though it is quite short. I think we'll have a lot to say.
Yeah, when we're like 45.
Yeah,
this rate,
when we get to
it's at the end.
It'll be first of these 7, the new solo stuff. So we'll get to it much before we get to.
Won't it come after D2?
It will come after D2, but before RM solo album,
right? Yes,
Jungkook solo album and Sugar's solo album.
Yeah,
the ones that we've not got yet, basically.
Fine.
So it'll be first in the line of solo albums, but last after all the other mixtapes. So should we move on to the next question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do we think about the album overall? I think we've covered a lot of this. I think there are songs that I could live without, and then there are songs that I think are brilliant. But I expected that. Yeah. What do you think?
I loved it. I think it's a really brilliant album. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad it was the first one. It's really like reaffirmed my hope and commitment after the Festa dinner. I do think it is short. And I think there's so, like, even today when we sat down to watch the interview, right, I was like, this is a 30-minute interview about a 20-minute album. Like, to some extent, I want more.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, you see what he did there? Wow.
I think that there is probably more songs in Hobi, and some of these songs could have had another verse or another chorus. Like, I don't want to obviously tell him how to do his job, but
maybe there was stuff that he cut because he's such a perfectionist that maybe we could have had on the album. But then we
might have liked it.
Obviously, I don't think he would have accepted anything he felt like was filler.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah, I think the thing about the album being short in general wasn't what I'd expected when they had made this whole big bravado about, we're going to do solo albums, not mixtapes. So I was expecting something a bit longer, and this wasn't that. So, and I think that's fine. That's just an expectation thing. But it's the length of the songs. I mean, I went back to some of the mixtapes and saw whether those songs were also really short, and they're not.
They're not, no.
They're not. They're like, Dear My Friend on D2 is like 5 minutes. Like, that's a long song.
And I think some of the pop ones, the sort of Equal Sign and Future, I'd really like if they had another verse and then another chance at the chorus. Yeah. Like, I think some of the rap songs, I can understand why they're shorter, because rapping for 2 minutes is a very difficult thing.
And you have to write a lot of words. Like, Yoongi's talked about that in one of his intros that he did that's only like 2 minutes, and he was like, yeah, but it's 2 minutes of like just me rapping like really quickly, and the amount of words that I'm saying, it's like I wrote so much for just such a sort of short song. Yeah, some of the more sort of angry raps I can
see.
Yeah,
but the pop
ones
should have been longer.
And More and Arson could have been longer. I don't know what went into his thoughts behind making them so short. And we had talked a little bit about how songs in general are shorter these days, I think.
Because
TikTok. The TikTokification of music. So
Charlie Puth told us that.
Yeah, you just need like sampleable little snippets that work on like short video content. That's what Charlie Puth was getting at. And yeah, Left and Right is a short song as well. So there's clearly something in that. But yeah, I agree, it could have been a bit longer.
And it feels like, because the tracks are so short, it feels like it's over before it's started. Like, it doesn't even last a whole tube journey.
Yeah.
And then I'm back at and Pandora opened the box, and I'm like, oh, wait.
Oh, all of a sudden it's over, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was going through trying to, pick my initial favourite, I felt like I was like skipping back like literally like every 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Every 2 minutes be like, wait, no, I really liked that one. I want to listen to that one again. Oh, I need to go back again and again. But it is what it is.
Yeah. That's what do you think? Do you have any thoughts on like the length and everything?
I don't know, maybe like thinking, could the decision to do like solo stuff have been like a last minute thing?
Okay, he did say in the interview that we watched today that he'd worked on it since like 2019, 2020.
Okay.
But I don't know whether he...
But Hobi was always going to put out a mixtape, right?
Yeah.
That was
because our Amateur have two and he's got one. And obviously it's come out very quickly after the announcement. So I don't know whether that's to do with it. But yeah.
Hard to know.
So a thing that I did like about it is the like graphic side of it. So like the font that they used and stuff and stuff like that. Because that's something that I'm more into these days.
Yeah.
Definitely can take like inspiration from it. Like the last scene in Arson video is that like Arson in like it's kind of like a fiery font. It's got like little curves at the end, and for more there's a lot of stuff that you can take from that, which is different to what I normally look at for inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspired by Hobi. How cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's another aspect of like his involvement, right? The graphics sort of fit the concept, but also, yeah, they are a little different, like you said. Again, I'm so intrigued to see what the other members do now, and I think it would be good to have that once we do get to do a full deep dive into it. It might be interesting to like contrast it towards what he's done before, but also what everyone else has done as part of this chapter 2 process.
Naked era.
Yeah, the naked era. Yeah, we appreciate that. Right, next question. Yeah, lead single picks. We touched on this already. I think they're a little similar, but then I also appreciate that he was really trying to sell this is my dark side angle. So I think if he'd put out more and then followed it up with like
equal sign
or future, then you might have been a bit like, right, well, I thought this was going to be your dark face. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Yeah,
it's a difficult one because I do think that the 2 lead tracks are too similar based on the range that's in the album.
Yeah, it doesn't show.
So it's almost like
of the album.
It doesn't know. So unless you like,
so if you are,
there will be casual army out there or casual fans who have heard both these and been like, oh, I really like Chicken Noodle Soup, but I'm not into this new album, and they won't have then they won't get the Joy of Future or the Equal Sign, some those are the 2 main popular ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a shame.
Yeah, please, if you haven't listened to the whole album, please do, because it's great.
Please go.
Even if you're like Natasha and you don't like the vibes of Moira and Arson, there's stuff for you on there.
There's some stuff hidden in there.
Yeah, I think that's the only sort of downside to the picks. I can see why he picked them. I think Moore's a really strong song.
More should have been the lead track. Yeah,
it is. Well, like he talked a little bit about it in the interview why he decided to do like a full song in the lead up and then also a different lead track, and he sort of talked a little bit about
wanting to put the teaser out and the teaser to be making people want more,
and
it's more, so like he puts the teaser out and then people are like, I want more, and he's like, here's more, and then there's more coming. Genius.
What do you think, Tash?
I'd go for, like you said, they are a bit similar, but I ain't got a clue. Don't know what I'm trying to say.
Do you have one that you're like, oh, I would have preferred it if it was this one?
Yeah, but then you're just going to ask me initial favourite and I'm going to tell you.
Well, why don't we do initial favourites now and then come back to if that initial favourite should have been a lead track?
Yeah, okay. Should we talk about our initial favourites then? I think we've maybe have made it really quite clear already. What's your initial favourite? Yeah.
Oh, mine's Future.
Yeah. It's about.
But we talked about this, and I was like, "That's not his vocal."
Yeah.
And you were like, "There's no one else on it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Can't be." can't be.
Yeah.
But then the more I listen to it, it is, you hear his twang at the end. And I was like, this is such a gorgeous vocal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still not over it. Like, it was today that I was like, it was Future that was getting this every 2 minutes, me having to whip out my phone and be like, back. And then with the children singing and it being him about his hope for the future, it's
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And it's such a bop. Like, it's like, you put it on and you're
it
doing
is
like a
so
little dance
happy.
and it's so, like, summery and lovely.
But it's not like, it's very summery. It's not like overly happy.
No.
And boppy like some of the chicken noodle soup stuff.
Yeah, no.
But it
like
is very summery. And I guess we're having a really great summer here in London.
Yeah.
It's red hot and you're travelling around Europe. And I just feel like it really fits. Yeah. I love it. I want everyone to know it exists.
Yeah.
And I was having to think about that when we were talking about what would the lead track be, and it needs to be arson for the fire and the visuals. I think it'd be lovely to see lots of little like children in a choir singing with Hobi.
Yeah.
And the same with Equal Sign, which is also in the pop genre. I think he could have done something really interesting there around equality and acceptance and so I do think Future's my favourite, and I think I would have loved to have seen an MV of Hobi looking happy and wistful and surrounded by children, thinking about going more with the flow.
Yeah. I'll say Future's my favourite as well.
Oh,
I love Future. I really also like Safety Zone. I think Safety Zone's about that back end of the album, songs like 8 through 10, because I also really like Arson. That's my favourite bit.
Safety Zone, I want to know, one question about it is that why does Hobi pronounce zone wrong? The like person that also comes in for vocal, he says it in a perfect like accent. What is there like a double meaning? Does it sound something like more in Korean or?
Yeah, he might have got an American singer or someone, because that guy sounds very like soul, like a soul singer. Like, but he's not credited on the track. It's not like a feature. It's like a backup singer, I think. But we know that they sort of think that when they have like a zh sound, they put a Z in, which we learned from the whole Suwuzu. They had the muster that they called Suwuzu, and they spelled it like S-O-O-W-O-O, and then Z-O-O. But then when you read the Hangul and you hear them pronounce it, it's Suwuzu, not Suwuzu. Suwuzu. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they might need to revise their
or maybe
romanization of those words.
Maybe he just wants to enunciate it in the way that he wants to enunciate it.
Yeah, which is fine.
Because he obviously knows that the enunciation's
maybe it's
wrong.
One of those things that's difficult to say when you've grown up speaking Korean. There's some sounds that, like how you...
Like I can't say the...
And you can't roll your R.
I can't roll my R.
And I think they've said that about Tae when he does like V Lives or stuff in Japan. He always introduces himself as Tay, not V, because in Japanese V is like hard to pronounce.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it might be that. It might be a mouth thing.
Mouth thing. Yeah, they don't.
Might be a mouth
have the
thing.
Z sound.
They can't make it because they've never had to make it.
They do have S though, like Su. Yeah, but never mind.
Who knows?
Who knows? It could be that.
Right. The whole back of the album's a bop.
The back of the album is a bop. I love it. Natasha, what's your favourite?
Equal Sign.
Nice, that's Aram's favourite. That was my initial favourite before I'd listened to the whole album enough times to have an initial favourite.
Yeah.
Because I remember being like, oh, Equal Sign's so good, and you're like, that's Aram's favourite. And I was like, Junie and I, same vibes. But then the more I listened to Future, it's Future.
Would you switch one of the lead tracks for Equal Sign?
No, because Hobi wanted it to be like totally different. So, if he obviously wanted it to be like, look, I'm different, look, this is different me, then just let him be.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop pandering to Hobi.
No, I agree. I think I was thinking about this. I think going into the recording, I thought I did, but then now, having talked about the concept so much and how the sort of release happened in the schedule and everything, I think having a song like Equal Sign or Future as like the second MV would have been quite confusing. Having a really boppy song as the lead single after you've had more and after you've had all this messaging around the album and how it's going to be this new darker vibe and everything like that. If he'd said, you know, more is the teaser track and then the album comes and the lead track's actually this really like poppy happy bop vibe that's much more Hope World, I think that would have been quite confusing. I think what he could do, you know, how BTS normally do like a lead single like DNA and then they'll have like a secondary single that they'll promote later on. I think he could do that and he could make one of those like to cover your point about like some ARMY might just not bother listening to it because of the vibe of the two lead singles. To cover that off, I think maybe if he wanted to, he could put out like a
B-side
or like a secondary or tertiary single.
No, because more is a teaser.
Yeah, more is a teaser. Okay, like a secondary single then, and make that Equal Sign or Future, and then you cover that part of like there's actually all this breadth on this album.
And Tay said in his vlog that if everything goes to plan as he wants, he'll have to film 8 music videos. So he needs to have another think about it. So I think like they do have those constraints that are like, what is the message that you're trying to say and what is it that you want? Yeah. What's going to make the most impact visually? What represents the concept best?
Yeah.
Even though I think personally I'd really like a Future.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, there's an ambulance. If people could hear that, that's it's not. We're not on fire. We're not committing arson. There was an ambulance. Tash.
I just did a brainwave. What if the album is so short to show that like J-Hope as a person is happy 95% of the time, and it's so short because he wanted to show he's like, I do get angry, I do get sad, I do get whatever, but only a little bit.
Oh yeah. Wow!
That's a good take. That is really good.
It's not what he said in the interview,
but it's mini,
it's small.
It's
only
small,
a little
bite-sized dark side.
Bite-sized dark side. Yeah, that's good.
That's a good brainwave.
I've got a dark side, but not that much.
Yeah.
You heard my call. Yeah, he was like,
he's suffering.
Yeah, this is what my suffering is, but overall, also here's Mama.
Yeah,
the dark side's not that.
It's somewhat dark. Yeah.
No, I think okay, fine. If both of you want to keep the lead tracks as the lead tracks because that's what Hobi wants, then maybe I'll go along with that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, is it what we expected compared to previous solo work? I think based on the messaging around the album, yes. Maybe before we knew about the messaging in the dark side, probably not. I was expecting something closer to Hope World. He's not really ever done a solo song that's been not happy dancey sunshine. Like there's Ego is very up tempo. Obviously there's Mama. Just Dance is obviously really dancey. Oh. Yeah, shockingly. Yeah.
But we get some...
There are some, like, cool songs on Hope World, I'd say. Like, there's a song from that one I really like called Hank Sang. That one is, like, rapper vibes. Like, it's not like... He does that one with Supreme Boy. And it's very, like, cool, kind of like Arson's cool. It's got that same vibe in that sense. But yeah, that's the only song on that album that I think was sort of gonna set us up for this. Yeah. What do you think, Tash?
I guess it's not what I expected, but I also want like, no, he cannot do this. Like, this is wrong. Like, he's not allowed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. What will be, will be.
For sure.
Hobi is angry for just a small 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think he also does have on Hope World, there's Blue Side, the outro, which I think if you want to see Blue Side is like a dark side. So that keeping on the theme of like outros leading into your next project, that could have been a hint, potentially. Him talking about the blue side and then doing an album about his dark side.
Do you think More or Arsenal, some of the darker songs, could have ever made it or would have ever fit on a BTS album as a solo? Or would it have always had to sit on a mixtape?
It depends on the concept of the BTS album, right? Because like I think maybe on one of the first couple of albums, yes.
Yes.
But then
more belongs in the school era.
Yeah. It wouldn't
And more's too good for the school era.
Yeah, no, yeah. But like vibe-wise. Because that's when they're quite angry in their rap. Whereas the more, like, I guess Interlude Shadow's quite angry. That's shit is from Map of the Soul. So yeah, actually maybe Map of the Soul, because that is all about like me and all of the parts that it exist as part of me. Personas. Yeah. Maybe Map of the Soul. I don't know, not sure about Love Yourself. So he does do the intro for Wings. And that one, I guess
it's not like More. It's not
like rap rock like More, but I think it is darker. It's quite far from a dance pop.
They were playing it in that club though. Yeah, they were playing it there, and everyone just went like crazy at it. They were all jumping about and everything. It wasn't like everyone were up for it. Everyone, like, the place was like shaking. It was like, what the heck?
That's nice.
Yeah, that's
and
really
it's going to be brilliant at Lola, right? It's a real like
you can definitely dance
festival.
To it. Like, I don't mean that it's not a dance pop and that you can't dance to it. Like
I want to be screaming it.
Yeah,
I want to be screaming at Hobi that I want more.
Yeah, yeah. Should we do our standard outlook? I think it's the arson white jumpsuit. Not the burnt one. The white jumpsuit with the red eyeshadow and the hair. Like, yeah, that's my fave. What do you think, Tash?
My favourite is the hat that he wears, that like with the ears and stuff. That one, I really like that one. I like the makeup on it. That really is like different to what he's done in past. So I really like it.
Yeah, for sure. He'd appreciate that take as well, because he fucking loves that hat.
He loves that hat. The mechanical hat or the woolly hat?
The woolly one.
The woolly one, yeah.
Well, it's the mechanical hat that he really likes.
No, he really loves the woolly one. He was talking about it in the interview today. He was like, oh yeah, I had this hat, right?
We saw the hat, Hobi. Yeah. We saw the hat with our own two eyes. It was great.
What about you, Leanne?
Mine's the one from the V Live, where he's in the white. So he's got the full white suit with the checkerboard shirt, like, popping out. I just think he looks... Oh.
He looks very dapper.
He looks very dapper.
Yeah.
I think he just looks very, like...
He does also have the full checkerboard suit that he wears sometimes.
In the cover art. Yeah, he looks great in that.
That's really good. Right, should we do our skip? I went back and forth on mine. I think I ended on... And I preface this by saying I might very much change my mind after we do the lyrics, but I ended on What If's my skip. Yeah, I think from the English lyrics, I don't know, when he goes like, what if I had no house? What if I had no car? And you're like, it's a bit obvious. That's my problem with the English lyrics, that they're a bit like, well, he talked about how the song is about how if he didn't have all of these things, would he still care about like getting this message across of equality, and would he still care about like telling these stories? And he was like, well, I don't think that I would, because
I'd be too busy trying to make ends meet.
Yeah, exactly. And he wouldn't have that sort of platform even to sort of share stories. So I think it's a great sort of platform for a song. It was just the like, what if? It's a bit repetitive. Like I got it by the first couple of what ifs, when he goes into like, what if I have no house? What if I have no car? What if I have nothing? And I'm like, yeah, I understand. It's about what if you didn't have all the stuff that you have.
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah. So I think that's the one that I enjoyed the least to end it on, even though I think it's a good idea for a song.
Ooh, I think mine skip Stop.
Yeah.
I gave more to What If than Stop, because also Stop was a bit like, please stop, don't fight, stop, wait, stop, calm down.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much in it, and it's a bit angry, rappy.
Yeah, it's a bit repetitive again, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Fine. Stop. Sorry, Hobi.
What do you think, Tash?
My skip would be Pandora's Box.
Oh no! I love the start of Pandora's Box.
I think those three were my candidates. Stop's my favorite out of those three.
Yeah, but the Pandora's Box starts with, they call me Hope. Do you know why I am Hope?
Yeah.
Reason why I don't like Pandora's Box is because it kind of reminds me of like a intro to like a crime series or something like that, or like It also reminded me of Batman, and I was disappointed at Batman.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, like a CSI
vibe.
Yeah, CSI theme tune vibe.
Yeah,
I get that.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, it was a candidate for me, but I think that line, the opening line about "They Call Me Hawk,"
yeah, and it's also the first time, sort of after the intro. It's the first time when he does this like deep grungy rap, like "They Call Me Hawk." So I think it sort of sets the tone for the album well.
Agreed.
We'll see if our opinions change. That's the whole point, isn't it?
Initial score.
Don't
be a dick.
Do you want to do yours first now?
Oh, are we grading it? We're grading it next to all the other albums. I would rank it higher than Too Cool for School.
Yeah.
Lower than Love Yourself Her, which sort of throws me into the 6.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what the other singles will sound like, so I will. Yeah. I'm gonna give Jack in the Box a 6. When I'm gonna reserve the right to rescore once I've heard Hopewell and some of the other singles and the rest of the singles from the rest of the lovely boys.
Exactly.
6 from me. Christine, what's your scoring?
Yeah, I obviously have the background of knowing some of the other mixtapes. I think some of the early mixtapes, this is better than.
Yeah, you've warned me about RM's first mixtape being like, you're not going to be happy there. Yeah. Thankfully, I've stayed away from it from so long.
There are good parts of RM's first mixtape, but I don't know that it's your vibe necessarily. And obviously, he talks about in the Fest of Dinner that he's like, oh, I really just want to throw that thing into the galaxy. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's better than some of the early mixtapes. Yeah, I think it's a 6 as well. 6? I think that the concept really helps, the sort of concept and story behind it. I think there are some excellent songs on here. Yeah, it's a really strong effort. I obviously have scored most things quite highly. But I wouldn't give it a 7 because of the length and there are some songs that I don't love. Yeah.
I'd agree. Okay. We're on 2 6s here, so what are you going to do? Be careful, because we will see you in person again, and I won't have you throwing shade on my boy.
I might as well put me resignation in here.
Are you going to score it lower than Too Cool for School? Because I'm going to throw the laptop off the table.
It's going to be. But this is an initial score, and as well, I'm very much someone that's more likely to listen to it in a month, 2 months, and be like, you know what, I love it, stuff like that. So I'm going to have to give it a 2.5.
Out of 7?
Yeah, because if you think about it, 3 is nearly half. Nearly a good album.
It's nearly halfway to a good album, and I just don't think this is it.
I don't know how you can sit there on your fancy holiday throwing shade on Hobi's coming out of the box, pop, punk, grunge, joy.
It's just our vibe, man, and that's okay.
Yeah, but you can appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, that's true. I think your grades, though, are more I don't like it, whereas ours are oh, the concept is good.
Yeah, I like this song. Yeah, I like these looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the Gen Z thing where you can just be like, nah, don't like it.
Yeah.
Whereas we're more in our thoughts about why we don't like it.
Yeah. But then I think that's fine too. I think we're on the podcast to share our generational different opinions, aren't we? But yeah, you're not invited to J-Hope's listening party.
You are not invited to J-Hope's listening party, and you are not coming to Lollapalooza.
No longer Army of the Year.
Yeah, we are taking away your Army of the Year award.
Right, should we call it there, guys? 2.5. It's really tough, but this is initial, as we said. Let's hope when we come together in 3 years' time to review Jack in the Box again, our opinions might have changed. You might do a 2.5. You might hate him by then.
I won't.
No, I won't either.
But if we're gonna do it as there'll be 7 albums from the newer solo albums. So are we gonna finally do it and then rank them like that? Because then if you're gonna do it that way, it could easily take one.
That's true, yeah. If we want to get all 7 together, maybe we'll do that for a special, like get all 7 solo albums and rank them 1 to 7. Yeah. Although that feels mean.
You hate doing that.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that. Let's see. I think we could. If you're grading on a curve, then somebody's getting a 1.5 from Tasha and someone's getting a 7.5.
Yeah, that's true.
Stay tuned.
Right, that is the end of our lovely Jack in the Box initial thoughts reaction. So thanks very much for tuning in. If you want to write us a review on iTunes or Spotify, or just hit the 5 stars button, please feel free to do that. If you want to tell us your thoughts on the
Jack in the Box,
please feel free to email or message us on Instagram, and please follow us on Instagram. We are Generation BTS _ and all of the contact details will be in the description. I've been Christine.
I've been Leanne.
And I've been Natasha, and we have been
Generation BTS.